Charles Lindbergh's first flying experiences were with barnstorming, in which he and a group of barnstormers traveled from city to city and put on air shows. He would also perform daring stunts like wing walking and parachuting. After barnstorming, he received training from the Army Air Service training schools as an Air Service cadet. After becoming a member of the Air Service Reserve Corps, he got a job with the Robinson brothers to run airmail routes from St. Louis to Chicago in 1926. In 1921, French hotel owner Raymond Ortigue offered a prize of $25,000 to the first aviator to make a non-stop flight from New York to Paris. Until 1926, there were no planes powerful enough to make the trip, but the Wright Aeronautical Corporation and other manufacturers had created higher performing engines capable of doing the job. Lindbergh decided he wanted to use a Balanca, a new monoplane powered by a Wright Whirlwind engine, to complete the flight. But due to complications with obtaining the aircraft, Lindbergh turned to Ryan Airlines, who had agreed to build him a new plane. Charles was in charge of all design decisions, and Donald Hall, the chief engineer of Ryan Airlines, worked on the mechanical drawings of the plane. They began test flights of the aircraft upon its completion on April 27, 1927. Charles Lindbergh took off at 7:52 a.m. on May 20, 1927, on a muddy runway in Long Island, New York. He was equipped with 451 gallons of gas, 4 sandwiches, and only 2 canteens of water. The Spirit of St. Louis had a 223 horsepower engine. Lindbergh would alternate between his 2 fuel tanks every hour to maintain balance. During his flight, Lindbergh would not be able to see in front of him, but would rather have to use his side windows to see. As he took his course over Nova Scotia at 10,000 feet above sea level, sleet began to form on his wings, forcing him to fly at a lower altitude. During the night, Lindbergh fought off sleep deprivation and began to hallucinate.
These phantoms speak with human voices, vapor-like shapes, without substance. The feeling of flesh is gone. Am I now more man or spirit?
The next day, he battled through fog at varying altitudes of 200 to 10 feet above the waves. As he neared Ireland, he saw fishing boats beneath him and yelled out for directions. Of course, they did not respond. He reached Ireland 2 hours early and only 3 miles off course. Perfect weather allowed Lindbergh to cruise over England at a steady 1,500 feet above sea level. At 10 p.m., Lindbergh flew around the Eiffel Tower in Paris and landed officially at 10:22 to 100,000 fans. His 33-hour, 3,600-mile journey had been a huge success.
My sin was loving you, not wisely but too well.
The pandemonium at Le Bourget Airport during his arrival was unlike anything ever seen before. Thousands of excited Frenchmen tore down fences and pushed past guards to get a glimpse of the handsome American. Because of his historic flight, Lindbergh toured many countries and received a vast array of awards, including the Congressional Medal of Honor from the United States and the Legion d'Honneur from France. However, his greatest accomplishment was the promotion of aviation in America. Eleanor Smith Sullivan, the winner of the 1930 Best Woman Aviator of the Year award, described the importance of the Lindbergh effect.
People seemed to think we were from outer space or something, but after Charles Lindbergh's flight, we could do no wrong. It's hard to describe the impact Lindbergh had on people. Even the first walk on the moon doesn't come close. The 20s were such an innocent time, and people were still so religious. I think they felt like this man was sent by God to do this, and it changed aviation forever, because all of a sudden the Wall Streeters were banging on doors looking for airplanes to invest in. We'd been standing on our heads trying to get them to notice us. But after Lindbergh, suddenly everyone wanted to fly, and there weren't enough planes to carry them.
Lindbergh's flight not only embodied old world, pre-war values such as honor, bravery, and heroism, but more modern, post-war concepts like technological innovation and internationalism. His solo flight increased interest in aeronautical technology and travel. This superhuman feat gave the world something to believe in after the atrocities committed during World War I. In a time when moral certainties were crushed and incredible inhumane acts were commonplace, this daring flight brought a new era to the world. There was no greater advocate for America than Lindbergh. He gave a multitude of speeches across Europe and America. Ernest Hemingway himself proclaimed, "Isn't it fine what the American embassy's doing for Lindbergh? It's as if they'd caught an angel that talks like Coolidge." Lindbergh was renowned for his prose, quiet determination, and embodiment of American values and idealism. Lindbergh carried America with him on that plane across the Atlantic into the dawn of a new era.